welcome to another episode of the AMA Way, your favorite marketing podcast here on San Diego State University. And today we're joined by yours truly, your host, Valeria Vizcarra. We have
Javier Hernandez,
Isabelle Moret,
Matthew Krasonsky.
And first and foremost, we really want to congratulate Isabelle for being our member of the month.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you guys for having me.
We love having members of the month, and more than everything, we love having members in our podcast. So thank you. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you guys.
And today, Isabelle told us that she loves languages, she loves different cultures, and she basically loves the world. So we decided to combine everything for this episode and discuss global marketing.
So, Isabelle, you speak any other languages?
I do. I grew up speaking French because both my parents speak French. I also grew up here, so speaking English, of course. And then my mom, it's kind of a long story, but she grew up in Azerbaijan during the 70s. So like the whole like Soviet Union. So they spoke Russian. And so she taught me Russian. And then it's also like the language that my grandparents speak. So for me to communicate with them, I need to be able to speak Russian. So then my mom taught me Russian. And then I learned Spanish in high school. And now I'm trying to learn Italian. So
damn.
Wow.
yeah, it's kind of a lot. But
Kind of like 5 or 6 at that point.
yeah, that's like 4.5.
So you could definitely help out any marketing department you'll be working for.
Right, pretty much. Just like put me anywhere in the world and like I got it.
Are you pretty fluent in all those other ones?
I'm fluent in English, French, and then Russian is I'm working on my reading just because it's a complete different alphabet. And then
It's very tough.
yeah, I know it's definitely tough in like writing as well. And then Spanish, I would say I'm able to like communicate to like a certain extent, and then Italian is like very beginner. So.
Yeah, I will say Spanish is a little easier as far as reading because a lot of it's just like exactly how it looks.
Right, and it's similar to French too. So
Yeah. The only hard part from Spanish is the accents.
Yeah, a little bit. Like just knowing where to put them is annoying.
But also, like, if you're learning Spanish, some words do sound very similar to Italian, so that can help you.
yeah,
that.
for sure.
And because you're an expert in languages, do you have any advice for the listener if they want to learn like a new language?
I think it has to do with consistency, as well as I think putting yourself in the environment of the language, because I feel like the best way to learn a language is to just immerse yourself in an area where they only speak that language, and you just have to like figure it out. So it's just like
That's also hella scary though, because like now you really have to like get it down.
for sure. Yeah.
And speaking of languages, we're going to discuss global marketing today. So, according to HubSpot, global marketing entails packaging your products to meet a universal marketplace needs and preferences. It involves creating, consolidating, positioning, and promoting your products and services, focusing on global consumers. So, Matthew, do you want to go ahead and get started?
Of course, great segue. So, are there any notable examples of brands successfully leveraging multilingual content to reach a diverse audiences on social media?
I would say I feel like big brands who are like trying to branch out. I need to like think about this. I feel like the brand that I think about the most, I would say, is Amazon so far, just because it's such a big, like widespread brand that's like known across like the globe. And I feel like it's one of those companies that is like able to have such a widespread audience because of like the accessibility they have and like how simple the whole idea of Amazon is. It's not like a cultural like blog that you can have, because you're just like ordering stuff that you need.
Right.
I mean, obviously Amazon has a bunch of like different branches for different things, but I feel like for like the main part, it's like easy for them just because it's such a straightforward concept.
And we were thinking of some other companies like McDonald's.
Yeah.
They tried global marketing as well in other countries like India, for example.
Right.
Being McDonald's, they serve hamburgers.
Right.
That might not translate well to cultures or countries that have dietary restrictions. So that's definitely a failure. How do you think they could adapt to that kind of environment?
I think it definitely has to do with like brands adapting to like cultural like the overall cultural aspect of the country. But yeah, how you mentioned like India, like not eating meat for the most part, it's definitely like how can McDonald's change their not values, but like concepts, to be able to like feed India. And I think Valeria, you were mentioning like they had like the cheese
Yes.
ads or
Yes. So for the listener, McDonald's had this ad. Matter of fact, I can just play it right now. This ad, and they were promoting a year ago. This new cheeseburger essentially because the patty itself is like fried cheese. And the video received 7.1 million views a year ago. And this was posted in the McDonald's India channel. So I'll play it. The listener can listen to it and then we can watch the advertisement. But here we go.
Cheese, 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 cheese. Explain.
Cheese. McDonald's new McCheeseburger family. Best enjoyed with your family.
The McCheese.
Yeah, the mac cheese. So, what do you guys think of that?
I mean, I think it's good that they're like changing the menus so that it fits like the country. I know in France, for example, you know how in America we like the cows are injected with like hormones so that they
Yes.
get
Yeah.
and all that. That's illegal in France.
Oh.
And so the way that they do it is like pretty much the same concept, but they just don't have that. So I think just
Yeah.
adapting and constantly like whatever like the needs are.
Yeah, that's also not the first time they've done that. Like they usually do change like the products they have on menu for like the people that they cater to in the specific nations.
Right. Yeah, like 2 years ago, I had the opportunity to go to Europe and going to Europe, I remember going to this McDonald's in London and it was it was March 17th. So it was decorated like very Irish and St. Patrick's Day. And I remember trying his food and it just even though it's McDonald's and it's essentially the same menu everywhere, it tasted so different.
Mhm.
Like the meat tastes so different. Even some of the offerings are different with essentially the same like core products, but it goes to show that every brand adapts to each country and its like particular
with local laws and everything.
audience. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
That also incentivizes people to travel across the world, try out their products in other countries.
Yeah, for sure. I agree. I know like in Japan, they have like a Japanese, like a completely different like Japanese like McDonald's menu that like I want to try because it sounds like so cool and like so different and so interesting. Yet it's like the same like McDonald's concept.
Right. And also the sizes.
Yeah.
The size of the food, like the amount you get, like their large is like our medium or
Yeah.
small, I believe.
Yeah.
Like the portions of the food are different as well.
For sure.
Yeah, and I mean, going off that, how do you guys think you market in different countries? What are some of the tactics you think that brands take or should take when it comes to marketing in different countries?
They should definitely consider like what their consumers want, right?
Yeah. No, sorry, go ahead.
Um,
No, yeah, I'd say it definitely has to do with like what like the aim what the
can we just cut this for a second?
Yeah, can you pause that, Elisa? What the For those watching, yeah, we just had to fix some technical difficulties, but yeah, we'll pick it back up with after the question you just asked, Valeria.
So, how do you market in different countries?
I think marketing in different countries has to do once again with the whole concept of changing your brand so that it fits like the culture and like the overall gist of like what the country is like. What's the word?
The appeal.
Yeah, the appeal, like the
I think it also depends on the product too, right? Like with McDonald's, it's a little harder, right? Because they're fast food and they're mostly like, you know, like chicken, pork, like beef, like all just like just food, and it's hard to cater to all tastes like that. But when it comes to like apparel, like I think it's a little easier to do it that way.
For sure.
yeah, and like different styles across the world and like
I agree.
how you're like dressing in different countries and like what that looks like and like how you're like overall just
I feel like
change it up.
certain fashion pieces are like pretty universal, but then there are other like pieces that are only some countries might wear them, some might be more conservative, some might not be as conservative. So that can differ, but I definitely agree that marketing food and marketing like apparel, clothing, shoes, all of that is very, very different.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, marketing a product, marketing service, marketing food,
Yeah, marketing in general is just
Is-
difficult.
very, very difficult.
Yeah.
For sure. And that has to do, I feel like clothing as well has to do with like fashion trends and like social media and like that, like social media comes into aspect of like, okay, like what trends are like going to be global and like what trends are more like local.
Yeah. I think when it comes to just marketing in general, it's like better to just keep it simple, which is why I think like Temu kept it pretty simple, or Temu, however you pronounce it. Their
Yes.
Super Bowl ad where like they kind of just showcase like their average pricing and then not really anything specific as far as products, because they just have too much to sell. But when it comes to like bigger brands too, like again McDonald's or even Nike, it's hard to keep things simple,
Yeah.
because then it's like it's hard to catch eyes that way.
Yeah.
Whereas like everyone sees like the bright orange logos and think like, oh, that's
Yeah.
probably like from Temu.
Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly.
And speaking of Temu, we can go ahead and watch their ad. So again, for the Super Bowl, each ad for about like 30 seconds was roughly $7 million. I sat down and watched the Super Bowl and I saw, I have to say, about
At least four.
Temu ads.
Wow.
4 Temu
That is
ads.
crazy.
That is insane.
Whoever's buying those products, do you still have those? Like, I just need to ask. There's no way.
Steve, your
Like,
products,
come
yeah.
on now.
Did they even get their products though? That's the-
Did you get them? And if you did, are they still around?
Yes. No, like the other day I ordered a dress and it was
Temu?
horrible.
Off Temu?
Online, yeah.
Oh.
It was horrible. Like
Take a risk.
I took
Yeah.
a risk. I'm so upset.
Was it worth the money? Like
Say that again?
was it worth the money? Was
Oh.
the money worth the product?
No.
Okay.
It was not. The style, the color, how it fit me, everything was horrible. But anyway,
How much was it?
30
Mm,
$30 seems like a lot.
$30.
for a
Yeah.
team.
For a Temu.
It's off Temu or?
I bought it off Amazon,
Um,
but my mom has purchased off Temu. And let's just say the quality doesn't change as much.
Yeah.
But let's watch the Temu ad.
All my wishes came true. Download the Temu app and shop like a billionaire.
okay, wait. So did you guys know about Temu before this year?
No.
Yes.
You did?
Yeah.
I didn't.
Had no clue.
I
found out-
barely found out
found
like
out
the
last
end of
summer.
last year.
People were spamming on TikTok for that.
Really?
Couldn't just escape it. It's like every 5 TikToks saying, use my code on Temu.
Oh my god.
I got DMs.
From Temu?
No, like DMs all the time on my Instagram, like purchase cryptocurrency or whatever. But I got DMs from people like use my code for discount on Temu.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so that's how I was like, what is this? And then
Yeah.
because I kept getting those DMs, I thought it was like a scam.
Yeah.
But then my mom ordered off of it. Then she bought me some
She
stuff.
used the promo.
She did. She got a great deal, you guys. It took 4 months. I'm sure.
All anonymous messages. No, don't do that. But
Yeah. So yeah, we got some Temu merch, but stuff. Yeah, took a long time, but
Yeah. No, did Temu get big through TikTok or something, or
I think so. I think it was Temu, and then probably just word of mouth, because I found it through another person, and they would try to buy stuff off it routinely, because they had also like cats, so they would just buy like cat toys for dirt cheap, and then they'd try to buying like off-brand Legos, and those were cool, but again, it's like a mini figurine,
Yeah.
so you don't really do anything with it.
I feel like sometimes when stuff is so cheap, you can just impulsively purchase everything.
Then how do you?
Yeah.
Wait, then that also makes me question, like, how did they blow up so big if it was so low key for so long?
It was so low key because, as you mentioned, I found out through another person.
Yeah.
And then I got the DMs, but I found out through another person.
Uh-huh.
So interesting.
Yeah.
Do you think it was just the simplicity or just like the average cost of like the products?
I think it's got to be the cost for sure.
Yeah.
Because like, I mean, I guess you could kind of compare it to Shein, but then like you could ask yourself like why Temu and like not Shein?
Mm-hmm.
But
Everyone's looking for the better deal. More
Sure.
options, better deals. We're all trying to cut
Despite
corners.
quality.
Yeah.
Case in point, McDonald's.
Yes. So, Matthew, do you want to take us to our next question?
Yes, of course. I think we had enough of Temu by now, right? Kind of annoyed at their 4 ads. So let's move on to the next question. Are there any emerging trends or innovations in the field of multilingual social media marketing that brands should be aware of?
It's a lot of words. I can't keep up.
Oh my gosh.
can you like repeat the question
Of course.
twice?
Sure. Are there any emerging trends or innovations in the field of multilingual social media marketing that brands should be aware of?
I feel like it doesn't have to do with like a specific language. I feel like it has to do more with like the country that the brand is in. And I think it goes back to like kind of the first question of like marketing through like whatever the country's like need or like needs are and like what they gosh, I can't think of the words at the beginning of this podcast. What they like what they're
They represent.
right, that's like the word. But yeah, what they represent and like all that. So.
Yeah, I think it's easier for some other brands too when it's not catering to anything specific, and so it's easier for them to cater to all things because in certain parts of their ads they'll just like switch the language on you, and I forget which ad or like which brand did that, but essentially they had
Like 2 languages in one ad?
like multiple. It was like
Languages?
yeah, and it was because it wasn't like full on sentences. It was like phrases. Like they were just. I think it might even been Nike, but I just I remember seeing an ad where like they had multiple people coming through in frame and like just saying something in like their native language, and I thought that was cool. But at the same time, I also thought it was corny because they're just trying to play. I thought they were just trying to get the diversity card. So I'm just like, yeah. So like, I think they just did that for their publicity at that point.
Did
Yeah,
it just repeat the same? Oh, I guess you wouldn't know.
Yeah.
I think they did. I don't know. I really can't tell you. I'd have to look it up off cam, but
I feel like it makes sense if it was a Duolingo ad.
I think they could even been that.
Yeah. Does Duolingo have ads?
I don't think they need ads. I think
Their
everyone knows
marketing
what
is
it
I think they're a meme now.
Their marketing is so
Yeah.
good.
Everybody knows Duolingo. Everyone knows it's great. People also know you shouldn't skip your days on that.
Yeah, everyone knows the word.
Never
Gotta get my credit, dude.
Have you used Duolingo?
Obviously.
Yes.
Yes.
And does it really help with you learning like all the languages you speak?
It is definitely getting me started for like the basics. I started on it with Spanish a while ago and now I'm doing it for Italian. But I think it's like definitely good to like get like the ball rolling because I've tried different apps and they're just like not the same. Duolingo is very like fun and like it makes you want to learn. Others seem very
Right.
like
Have you tried Babbel?
no.
I haven't either, but I heard better. I've just heard good things. Yeah, I've tried Duolingo.
It
Yeah.
might be better, but Duolingo just pressures you to use it every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that. It's consistency.
I
Well,
added the widget.
I think it's that and I think people just don't prefer Duolingo as much because even though it does notify you, they don't really retain as much because it's like you hit your goal for the day and then most people just put it down. And so I think that's where they kind of just have the complications.
Yeah. I always get the notifications of you are making Duo sad.
Yeah.
Is that the owl?
Like if yeah. Like if you're not using it.
Have you added the widget on your phone?
Not yet.
There's a widget
It's funny.
and it like
Is
shows
it just his face?
no, he gets sad. Like sad like 6
Hey,
p.m.
that's cool. I like that.
Yeah, by 6 p.m. if you don't have your streak going, like he'll be sad, and then like close to midnight, he'll get angry. So like,
No.
yeah,
He's gonna appear in your
yeah.
nightmares.
No, that's why I'm trying to get. I'm on my like.
Have you seen that meme of where he's like really pressuring you to like get onto the app?
No, I do like that though. I feel like more apps, more companies should take advantage of this market. Not market, the style of it.
More
You
apps should
need to
have
open the
widgets.
app.
Yeah. No, I feel like
Yeah.
Duolingo is really good with like, user, like, what's the word?
Interface.
Like interface.
Yeah.
And, like, like being active
Right.
with like the users. I feel like a lot of different brands are just like, oh, like we're just doing the ad to do the ad, but we're not actually like connecting with their audience. And I feel like Duolingo's really good at that.
Yeah, they're great at responding to people on TikTok.
Yeah.
Like,
That's right. I
it
forgot they
doesn't-
did
it
that.
doesn't seem real.
It's so funny. Like that's what more ads should be doing.
Yeah.
Like connect with your audience.
Saw this on LinkedIn the other day. Someone said marketing is just it's okay to have fun sometimes. And that's what Duolingo's doing. Even if they're having a bit too much fun. It is important to have some fun.
Yeah,
Don't gotta be all serious.
I agree.
Have fun, make a few jokes,
I agree.
attack your fans a bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Fans.
Attack your boss a bit. Have you seen
I've seen that.
Have you seen Dr. Miami on TikTok?
I think so.
You've seen
Oh, is that the plastic surgeon?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
So Santina is the marketing manager or the social media manager.
Uh-huh.
And she creates all like the content for him and she makes fun of him. Like her boss. It's really funny. I enjoy all their content. But tracing it back to global marketing. I mean, right now, being in the US and being next to Mexico, how do you guys think are like the ads in terms of difference? Like, how different do you think the ads are? For example, I have an example of a Coca-Cola ad that's in Spanish. Do you guys want to take a look?
Yes, please.
So, for the listener, I'm Mexican and
I am
Coca-Cola.
Don't
Yes,
cut me
having-
out. Come on.
Speak Spanish.
Oh, what? You didn't even bring that up. All right.
Um, but basically, Coca-Cola, first of all, it tastes different in Mexico than it tastes in
That is
here.
also very true.
That's a little concerning.
Actually, like, okay,
It's better there.
it's better.
It's the formula.
Why?
For
The
sure.
formula. I believe here we use what, corn syrup or
Something
sugar?
like that. I think it's both.
No, over there they use cane sugar. Over in America they use corn syrup.
Exactly. So we use like sugar, and then here we use syrup. So, and then also the Coca-Cola. Usually, when you buy it, it comes like in a glass bottle.
Mhm.
Not a
In
plastic-
Mexico?
Yeah, in Mexico.
Yeah. That's like all they have.
Yeah. And then when you like are gonna drink it, you do the
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. No, I think that's the same in France too.
Yeah.
So it's just an American thing then, not
Yeah.
Mexican. Coke.
No. Yeah.
It's just called American.
So Coca-Cola is huge. People are addicted to it. Certainly my family is. So let's take a
My
look.
grandpa.
El día que el mundo se detuvo, descubrimos a dónde ir. Nos dimos cuenta de que las cosas que importan se merecen su tiempo, a dejarnos nada en el plato, porque hemos aprendido a disfrutar los momentos que siempre han estado ahí. Ahora saben mejor que nunca.
So the entire ad was in Spanish. Do you want a quick translation? Basically, it's like together, it tastes better. The whole ad is like just families together. And I think it's a perfect example or representation of global marketing because for the viewer, not the viewer, but the listener, in the advertisement, there were families of different ethnicities represented. So there were Asian families, there were like Middle Eastern families, and of course, Latin families. And the entire ad was spoken in Spanish. And I just thought it was so interesting that here in the US, the idea I have of Coca-Cola, it's more of like a just sit down, eat a burger, and drink Coke. Like go to McDonald's, drink Coke.
That's a really good point.
But in Mexico, like through that ad, you can tell the way they market it differently.
Mhm.
It's more of like a family event together, sit down, drink a
Community,
Coke.
yeah.
It's very much community. And it's
Community and
family.
together. It's good.
Togetherness. And that ad is like a perfect representation of that. And that's what it's saying the entire time. Like together, let's drink Coke. And then I don't know if you were able to catch the glass Coke
Yeah.
that fell down.
Yeah.
And then they opened another one and it was like,
Yeah.
yeah. Adding the sound effects to the
Sound effects do
podcast.
sell.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I completely agree. I think like kind of going back to like the whole like France thing, but I have noticed Coca-Cola ads in France are very similar, like the whole aspect of community. And that's a good point. I didn't actually think about it, but it's so true. Like when I think about the Coca-Cola here, it really is just about like eating it with like a burger or drinking it with a burger. And like nothing about just like community and like sit down and like having that aspect. So It's interesting.
Yeah, so maybe like marketers in America should maybe change the goals a little bit.
Yeah.
It's more on community
Change their
building.
perspective.
Make it a bit more positive. Maybe people would buy more. People are already buying it a lot, but people will buy more.
Yeah.
Sales will go up if the ads are better.
But I also think that like the reason it's that way in America is because America is so like focused on fast food. That's
Right.
like the way to market it.
Focus on growing their money.
Right.
Like in different countries, fast food is definitely not as big and like prevalent.
Yes.
So yeah.
Yeah. In Mexico, it's certainly like, I agree with you. Like in Mexico, it's when people think of our food, they think of like Mexican cuisine.
Right.
They think of the food we make,
Mhm.
not the food that we buy.
Right.
And when you think of the US, I feel like you think of In-N-Out, you think of
Oh, yeah.
KFC, you think of Jack in the Box, you think of McDonald's and all of those. So that in itself is a key, like it's a difference in the perception of the consumer.
For sure. For sure.
So overall, when it comes to global marketing, what are some, based on what we discussed, what are some of the things that marketers should try to implement in the future to improve their marketing strategies?
I would say gathering, kind of like finding things that common countries and places have in common. For example, like the sense of community. I feel like that's something that you can have without language barrier or without like cultural barrier. So marketing in ways that can include like not everyone, but like pretty much like everyone and like everything. Because I feel like that's just like the way to like go about it, unless you're kind of very more specific in each country. But then again, you have to like market like different ways in each place. So
What do you think, Javi?
I think it's better that they acknowledge that their consumers like or like not consumers, but the what is it? The creators of the product acknowledge to their consumers that they're being heard. Because I think with the big corporations, there's a big disconnect. Whereas like they're pushing a product rather than trying to appeal to their audience.
Mm-hmm.
So I think if they were able to just like appeal to them in some way that's a little more than just like a product going to a consumer, then that would be a little more beneficial for them.
Right.
Mhm.
What do you think, Matthew?
Of course, I was thinking that marketers in America or like in general should work with their international teams, see what's working in other countries, not just focus it's working over here.
right.
See what's working in other places. Maybe their numbers are higher.
Mm-hmm.
Adapt some of their strategies over here or over there. See what's working, change the style a bit, or use the same one.
Mm-hmm.
For sure, I completely agree with all of you. I think that the importance of cultural adaptation is significant. Like people and marketers and executives and basically everyone that's dealing with global business, like business internationally, specifically marketing, they should conduct like just marketing research. And particularly to the place that they're going to be marketing at.
Right.
So like whenever they're doing advertisements and it's for like maybe a particular city or a particular state or wherever it may be, having done like significant amount of research to understand just how the consumer thinks.
Right.
Not just have a broad idea of like, oh, well, they're from this country, then they must like this, but like actually go out of their ways to understand their values, their beliefs, and what's going to make them buy. But overall, that has been global marketing. And I have one last question for Isabelle.
Yes.
As our member of the month, what is your favorite thing from AMA?
Oh, I mean, I'm going to have to say the opportunities that AMA provides. I feel like out of all the clubs, I'm part of a lot of clubs on campus.
Which ones?
Oh gosh, it's so long list.
Shameless plug, do it.
I'm part of AGA. I go. No one really knows how to pronounce it, but the Graphic Design Association, Women's Running Club, Overall Running Club, French Club, Italian Club. It's just a lot.
Damn.
And so I mean, AMA is definitely one of the clubs that I'm the most.
I thought I was busy with just two. Damn, you're doing it all.
No, yeah. So I would say like the opportunities are really cool and they're awesome and they really help students like myself get involved. So
That's amazing. And we hope to see you in many, many more AMA meetings. And
yes,
we
absolutely.
love having you here in this podcast episode and you being the member of the month.
Thank you guys for inviting me. I really enjoyed
And
it.
of course, we want our listeners to think about what they're eating right now, what they're drinking right now, How's it being marketed in other countries?
That
Maybe
is
it's
a
good.
good question.
Maybe
Yes.
it's not.
Yep.
Try to think about that. Put it in the comment section on Instagram. And you know what? I also want to thank our sponsor, Oku Energy, the best gummies. Started here in San Diego. Go support them. Buy Oku Energy.
All natural green tea energy made with goji berries, super non-GMO.
It's incredible.
Amazing even. I shouldn't even be drinking this. I should be having Oku instead.
Way better.
Thank you to our sponsor. Catch you in the next episode. Bye.